Have you ever thought about turning a little corner of your home, maybe even just a windowsill, into your own personal, natural pharmacy? Now, I know that sounds like a huge undertaking, but it's really not. It's actually this amazing journey back to nature where you get to create powerful healing remedies right from the soil. So let's get into it and see how you can get started.
So here's a quick look at our game plan. First, we'll talk about the big idea, the vision behind having a home pharmacy. Then, we'll get into 2 essential herbs that are perfect to start with. After that, we're going to do a deep dive with a case study on growing ginger. Then, the fun part, turning your harvest into remedies. And finally, we'll talk about how you can begin your own herbal journey.
Oh, and before we really jump in, if you get inspired and want to go even deeper after this, I've put together a totally free 120-page guide for you. It's called 101 Herbal Remedies for Everyday Use. You can grab it at 101herbalremedies.com. It's a fantastic little companion for everything we're about to cover.
All right, let's kick things off with the big idea, growing your own pharmacy. You know, this is about so much more than just putting plants in dirt. It's really a shift in how we think, a move away from just looking for quick fixes and toward building a much deeper connection with our own well-being.
This really breaks down 2 different ways of looking at health. Modern medicine, which is incredible, is fantastic at treating symptoms after we're already sick. But herbalism, it takes a step back. It's all about prevention. Just think about it for a second. Our ancestors didn't have a pharmacy down the street. Healing was just part of their everyday life, completely woven into the world around them. They used plants to stay in balance before things went wrong.
So, how do we start building that foundation for ourselves? Well, let's look at 2 absolutely essential starter herbs that are just perfect for anyone's first garden. First up is Calendula, and let me tell you, this plant is an absolute powerhouse for your skin. Its petals are just packed with these natural anti-inflammatory and antiseptic compounds, which makes it incredibly versatile for soothing anything from a rash to a minor burn. It even gets the nickname Poor Man's Saffron. But you know what my favorite part is, especially for beginners? It self-seeds. That means you plant it once, and nature literally does the work of bringing it back for you year after year. How great is that?
And then, of course, there's lavender, the ultimate soother. I mean, we all know that famous scent is amazing for stress and sleep, but its real magic is in its versatility. A little bit of lavender oil can help ease a tension headache, and it's fantastic for taking the sting and itch out of a bug bite. It's basically a multi-tool for your home pharmacy. It's a must-have for sure.
All right, let's move from theory to practice. It's time to get our hands dirty with a little case study on growing ginger. Think of this as your first actionable project. And trust me, ginger is the perfect plant to start with because it is so rewarding to grow yourself.
Okay, before we actually plant anything, let's clear up one key term, rhizome. We always call it ginger root, right? But technically, it's a rhizome. And what that means is it's an underground stem that grows sideways, horizontally, not straight down like a typical root. Now, knowing this is super important because it tells you exactly how the plant is going to spread out and ultimately what part you're going to harvest.
You'll be surprised how simple it is to plant ginger, especially in a pot. So you start at the grocery store. Look for a nice plump piece of ginger that has these little nubs or buds on it. Those are the eyes, and that's where it'll sprout. Now remember, it grows sideways, so you'll want a wide, shallow pot. Fill it up with some good, loose potting soil, lay the ginger right on top, and just barely cover it with about a ½ inch of soil. Give it a light watering, and then, well, the waiting game begins.
Now, the real secret to success with ginger is just to remember where it comes from, which is tropical Southeast Asia. Your whole goal is just to try and mimic that environment. So, you want to aim high on 3 things: heat, humidity, and keeping the soil consistently moist. Just, be careful not to make it soggy. If you can get that tropical vibe right, maybe on a warm, sunny windowsill, your ginger is going to be very, very happy.
Okay, now we get to what is, in my opinion, the most satisfying part of this whole process, going from harvest to remedy. This is where all your patience and all your care really pays off, when you turn something you've grown into something genuinely useful. First up, a calming, sleepy tea. Gaz Oakley shares this beautiful blend of chamomile, lavender, and lemon balm. And it's not just about what's in it, it's the whole ritual of making it. When you mix them together, the blend has this amazing honey-sweet aroma that just instantly starts to relax you before you've even taken a single sip.
Now imagine taking those beautiful calendula flowers you grew and turning them into your own healing skin moisturizer. You just infuse some oil with the petals, then you whip it up with rich butters like shea and cacao. I'm telling you, there's just an incredible feeling of pride when you use a product on your own skin that you know started as a tiny seed in your garden.
And what about that ginger you grew? Oh, we're not letting any of that go to waste. You can easily turn it into a super versatile ginger powder. All you do is slice the rhizome really thinly, dehydrate the pieces until they're completely crispy, and then just grind them up. And just like that, you've got potent, homegrown ginger to add to your teas, your spice rubs, and baked goods all year round.
So, we've covered the why and we've covered the how, but really, the most important question is, what comes next? Where do you go from here? And that brings us to our final section. Your journey begins.
Look, building a whole home apothecary can feel a little overwhelming. I get it. But every single garden, every single one, starts the exact same way. It starts with just one single plant.
So that really leads to the final and most important question for you. I want you to forget about the entire garden for just a moment. Don't worry about all that. Just think about that very first step. What's the first healing plant that you are going to add to your garden?
And as you're thinking about that, remember, your journey can continue right now. If you want more recipes, more ideas, and more guidance, head over to 101herbalremedies.com and download that free 120-page ebook, 101 Herbal Remedies for Everyday Use. It really is the perfect next step for turning that one plant into a lifelong passion.